You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of GHS-TV's award-winning talk show, Crosstalk. I'm your host, Rachel Christopherson. Each week in this time slot, we take a look at different issues, personalities, and events that affect you in our community. Memphis is home to a rich and vibrant theater scene. From community theaters to professional companies, we have it all. Today, we'll peek behind the curtain and learn about some of the exciting shows opening soon. First up, we have Germantown Community Theater's Executive Director, Brian Everson, and Playhouse on the Square's Director of Community Relations, Marcus Cox. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Well, your two theaters have some really great shows opening, and Brian, GCT's production of It's a Wonderful Life is an all-student cast. How special is this production?
It's pretty special. It's typically our casts, student-wise, tend to just be high school students, but this year we've kind of expanded that from just high school all the way up to some college and actually some graduate students. So we've kind of opened that age range up, and you see a lot of learning from some of the younger students being able to work with some college students, help improve their craft, and it's kind of brought the production's quality up as a whole. So very pleased with it.
Well, Marcus, Playhouse's production of Peter Pan is coming up soon. Can you talk about this?
Absolutely. This will be Playhouse on the Square's 27th rendition of Peter Pan, and we're super excited to have that be a part of our 50th season. So it's been a great addition to an already awesome season and kind of the catalyst to our holiday season as well. Yeah.
Well, at the same time, Playhouse is putting on Peter Pan on her 70th birthday.
Yes.
What is this show about?
I'm so glad. Yes. So for Peter Pan on her 70th, we meet the main character, whose name is Anne. She was the Peter Pan in her community theater, her hometown community theater, for years. And we meet Anne later in life, and she and her brothers and sister, who are coincidentally named Michael, John, and Wendy, come back home to say goodbye to their father, who's in his last days. So the story revolves around the idea of that inevitability of us growing older and having to, come to that final point in our lives, them rekindling friendships and things as brothers and sisters. And then there is a beautiful dream sequence where Anne dons the Peter Pan garb again, and she and her brothers and sisters fly back to Neverland to face Captain Hook.
Well, It's a Wonderful Life and Peter Pan are both beloved classics. How do you market your shows to different age groups?
Oh, I'll take first. Different age groups. I would say, because it's a student cast, it naturally helps market us to a younger, student age, but also due to the classic nature of the film and people for years and years watching it, as part of their Christmas tradition. We see a lot of, parents that are bringing their children to bring it to let them see it for the first time. Grandparents that watched it for 20 years growing up, 4 or 5 times every Christmas. So it's pretty easily, as far as a marketing standpoint, it's been the easiest show so far for us to market this year. So.
I would say the same thing is real true for us at Playhouse on the Square as well. Peter Pan is a multi-generational show, and it's something that's familiar to everyone. You've either read the book as a child, you've seen the Disney movie, you've seen other variations of the movie as well. The Robin Williams Hook was my favorite movie growing up when I was young. So there is something about just the name Peter Pan itself that lends us to be able to open it up to everyone in our community. The other great thing about it, again, too, is that it is one of the shows that opens up to community casting as well. We do have our resident and our associate company members that are contracted for the year for our theater, but Peter Pan is one of those shows where we have like 46 cast members. So there's a lot of community actors, especially with young people as well, who play our Lost Boys, and some of our older young people are pirates. And so there's a way, again, to make sure that we're marketing to the entire community. It's something that becomes a holiday tradition, just like GCT. So it makes us happy, yeah.
Well, how are both of your theater companies marketing towards today's modern generation?
I can take it first, yeah?
Yeah, go first.
You know, what has really been working for us is the use of social media. All of our shows for this season and going forward have hashtags, which makes it a little bit easier for those that are computer inclined, technologically inclined, to use those hashtags as search engines to get more content information about our shows. For instance, for Peter Pan, Peter Pan's hashtag is Potts Pan, and then for Peter Pan on the 70th is hashtag AARPan, which we find, thank you,
Yeah,
we find that pretty funny as well. And we're also doing Junie B. Jones is Not a Crook at the Circuit Playhouse across the street, and that hashtag is hashtag free Junie B. So you can use those hashtags to go to our social media, and we have videos and extra content and information and things like that, which I think helps our younger audiences or our more technologically advanced audiences find more information and make them want to come to the theater and see what's actually happening inside our four walls.
Mm-hmm.
And I would echo that. I mean, today's marketing has changed so much in the last 10 years. It's all about social media. I mean, we used to, take ads out in papers and things like that. That's just not a reality of our business anymore. It's all about social media. And also, as far as some of our more traditional, older customers, to continue to have those direct mailings. So we tend to either focus on social media or direct mailings. We are blessed to have some media partners that we were able to be on their television shows, and they are kind enough to provide us with YouTube links and stuff, so we're able then to tie that to our social media sites as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, the rest of your seasons are exciting as well. What's in store for theater goers at Potts and GCT?
Well, you've got a lot more than I've got, so
Go ahead.
I'll get through mine because he's got a bunch to talk about. After It's a Wonderful Life, we have a regional premiere of a little show called Four Weddings and an Elvis. Following that, we are doing Arthur Miller's The Crucible, and then we're closing out our season with Neil Simon's Fools.
At Playhouse on the Square, beginning right as soon as we get started in January, we are very lucky to be doing a world premiere on our TheaterWorks stage. It'll be the first time this show's ever been professionally produced. It was the winner of our New Works at the Works playwriting competition, which we do every year, and this was one of the winners 2 years ago. It's called Back When Mike Was Kate. On the Playhouse on the Square stage will be the regional premiere of Tuck Everlasting, and the Circuit Playhouse stage will be another regional premiere of the Pulitzer Prize winning Sweat by Lynn Nottage. After those three shows, we roll right into Cabaret, Significant Other, which will be at the Playhouse on the Square stage. The Circuit Playhouse will produce another regional premiere, Madagascar, A Musical Adventure. There's quite a bit going on for sure. There's something for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, Brian and Marcus, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Mm-hmm. For more information on Germantown Community Theater season, visit them on the web at gctcomeplay.org. And for Playhouse on the Square's upcoming shows, go to playhouseonthesquare.org. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue our tour of Memphis theaters. Stay with us.
Want to play a game? The Poplar Pike Playhouse invites you into the game of Clue on Stage. Everyone's favorite whodunit comedy follows 6 colorful characters who are blackmailed for their scandalous deeds by their host, Mr. Body. But who murdered Mr. Body to keep their secret safe? Find out what happens when Clue hits the PPP stage. The show runs December 6th through the 15th. Call 755-7775 or go to ppp.org to reserve tickets. It's a mystery you won't want to miss.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello, and welcome back to Crosstalk. This year, many Broadway shows are coming to Memphis. Everything from Newsies to Hamilton will make Mid-South debuts on Theater Memphis and the Orpheum stages. Here to discuss these highly anticipated seasons are Randall Hartzog, Marketing and Communications Director at Theater Memphis, and Christina Torres, Vice President of Marketing of the Orpheum Theater Group. Thank you for talking with us today.
Sure.
Thank you for having us.
Well, you both have exciting seasons this year. How do you choose which shows make the cut?
Do you want to start?
I'll start. We actually have, as a community theater, we have a community board that meet pretty much all year to kind of make the decisions as to what shows fit into certain slots. And we read a lot of plays, and we have a lot of people that are involved in making those decisions. But we kind of try to lead with kind of a formula of when a musical will work, when a comedy will work, when we have our annual productions that we will do, and if we're going to do them again, that type of thing. So it's a collaborative event, but ultimately it's our executive producer and our staff, production staff, that will make those final decisions.
And of course, since we bring touring Broadway shows, we are limited oftentimes to what's on the road or what's going on the road. But we're also looking at tour routes too. So some shows are, telling us, hey, do you have this week available? And if we don't, or if another show is in that, then we might have to pass on a certain production or try to rearrange everything else so that way we can make it fit. So it is a puzzle. It's exciting, but primarily our president, along with our vice president our executive vice president, will make those decisions, work on the contracts, work on the routing, all the different minutiae that go into putting a season together.
Well, Randall, for 41 years now, Theater Memphis has been putting on A Christmas Carol. What keeps theater goers coming back year after year?
Well, one, we put our efforts into making it a quality production, but it's also a family event. It's become a tradition in so many ways for families to come back to start their holiday season. As a matter of fact, just last year I ran into a lady that had brought her 4th generation. She was there with her great-grandchildren, and she was very proud that she was able to say that. So it's just kind of a family tradition, and it's the reason we keep doing it, is because people want to see it.
Well, Les Mis just closed at the Orpheum. What is coming up next for the Orpheum?
In January, we will be having Waitress the Musical, which was written by Sarah Bareilles. So the music is fantastic in it, and it's based on the film of the same name. So for people who have seen the movie, they can expect a similar storyline and some of the same themes as well. So it's a lot of fun and lots of pies. It'll definitely make you hungry.
Well, are there any shows that the Orpheum has been dying to book or produce?
Oh my goodness, everything that's new on Broadway is always really, really exciting. Of course, we don't get the opportunity to produce very much, but we do sometimes have the opportunity to invest in shows, which gives us an advantage on trying to get them to Memphis sooner.
Well, I'm sure getting Hamilton to come to Memphis was a big achievement for the Orpheum. Can you talk about this and the process?
Oh my. Well, obviously it's something that everyone in the country is vying for, so we were really excited that Memphis is going to get to be the first in our state to experience it. So we are incredibly excited about that, and part of that is our strong season subscriber numbers, and that speaks volumes in terms of getting shows to come. So we're really thankful for our subscribers because they give us a bargaining chip when it comes to these great shows that are coming on the road, and we're just really proud to have it, honestly.
Well, Randall, what would you like to see on the Theater Memphis stage?
Oh, everything new on Broadway. I mean, that's what people tend to trend toward. We're limited in some ways as a community theater, is that sometimes we can't get the rights because there are professional tours coming through, or there are professional companies that have the lead to those particular productions. So we have to be a little bit more strategic about what we do. What we love to put on there on our shows and for our market are things that can appeal to the family and that can appeal to a broader range. And at the same time, we have 2 stages, our Laurie stage and then our next stage. And we try to do the more contemporary things, the things that might be a little bit more out there in our smaller space, because we do like to continue to engage the artistic community to come in and participate in shows that may not be as traditional as some of the shows you may see in tours or at some of the professional companies.
Well, when the Little Theater Memphis opened in 1925, it was housed in a former stable. Can you talk about the growth of Theater Memphis to where it is today?
Well, we actually will be celebrating our 100th birthday in 2020. We were formed in 1920. Our first production was in 1921, and it was in some stables there down around where Victorian Village is. We then moved to an area that was where the Brooks Museum is now. We were there for probably another 30 or so years until we moved into the Pink Palace when it was taken over by the city, and we converted the swimming pool indoors that already had a raked bottom to the stage. We were there for over 30 years, and in 1975 we actually built the building we're currently in there at Perkins and Perkins Extended and Southern, and we have some very exciting news that will be coming out very shortly about some expansion that we're going to be participating in for our 100th anniversary.
Well, the Orpheum hosts camps and workshops for its students in its fairly new Halloran Center. Can you talk about some of these opportunities?
Oh my goodness, we're so excited that we're able to expand our education programs. When we were in the Orpheum, the biggest issue was space, and so we weren't able to reach as far as we really wanted to reach. So the Halloran Center has given us that opportunity, and we actually just finished a new program called Camp Say Across the USA, which was a partnership with Stuttering Association for the Young out of New York. So that was an awesome camp that we were able to offer young people who stutter. We're also expanding our camps, our summer camps that you're referring to. Of course, we're still hosting High School Musical Theater Awards in the historic Orpheum, but the Halloran Center is giving us more rehearsal space and different things like that, so that way we can just keep growing and keep moving forward with education programs for all ages.
Well, how do you connect with this generation of theater goers?
Well, I think there are many different ways. Education is certainly one of them. Like I said, we start with children as young as 3rd grade and go all the way up to high school and some college programs. And so part of it is a progression and giving the types of theater education that don't necessarily have to translate to a job in theater. It could be about giving confidence or allowing speech and different things like that, having your voice heard, understanding teamwork. But also, we are very fortunate that it's kind of a new dawn in Broadway that we're having so many shows like Hamilton, Dear Evan Hansen, that are speaking to a younger generation as well.
And Randall, how does Theater Memphis connect with its younger theater goers?
In many of the same ways. Social media that was mentioned before is something that we all have gravitated toward because the traditional print media is really not reaching those audiences that we typically like to reach. But we also have kind of reinvented what we do with our education program, kind of in tandem with what the Orpheum was doing as they were expanding what they were going to do with the Halloran Center. We kind of looked inward as to how we could do something with our community base and be truly community theater. And so we have partnered with the Memphis Grizzlies through their mentor program. We've partnered with the Caritas Village programs. We go with the Shelby County schools and do seminars and do things like poetry jams, helping kids write through their mentor programs too about their own experiences and then bring them back to the theater for them to perform. And sometimes it's the first time they've stepped into a theater or performed in front of anyone or spoken in front of a group. And it's kind of life-changing. And so it's kind of from the ground up. I've always said as community theater we have to build our own and grow our own. And by kind of going to that route is where we've redeveloped our programming so that we think we're expanding that audience that's going to be tomorrow's theater goers.
Well, thank you both for coming on the show today, and good luck with the rest of your season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
More information on Theater Memphis's exciting season can be found on their website, theatermemphis.org. And to learn more about the Orpheum shows, go to orpheum-memphis.com. We'll be right back with more fall theater.
Want to play a game? The Poplar Pike Playhouse invites you into the game of Clue on Stage. Everyone's favorite whodunit comedy follows 6 colorful characters who are blackmailed for their scandalous deeds by their host, Mr. Body. But who murdered Mr. Body to keep their secret safe? Find out what happens when Clue hits the PPP stage. The show runs December 6th through the 15th. Call 755-7775 or go to ppp.org to reserve tickets. It's a mystery you won't want to miss.
This place, it's extremely unique.
You are pushed to do things that you didn't know you could do because someone else saw it in you.
If you're with us for your whole 4 years here at GHS, you get a great foundation of amazing classes.
Try the priest.
The approach we take to whether it's the fall play or the spring musical is that the students are truly the ones that are making the magic happen.
Tell all the
You put the work in off and on stage. Not only are you on stage acting and playing a part, you're working, you're pricking your fingers, sewing the costumes, you're learning how to make exotic makeup designs, you're learning how to build the set that you're going to be planted on.
And as you grow with us within the program, your skills continue to develop and we build off your previous knowledge. And hopefully by the time you graduate, you're a well-rounded professional in a way, and you can move into any area that you'd like after high school and succeed.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm your host, Rachel Christopherson. Let's continue our discussion on fall theater. The Poplar Pike Playhouse and Voices of the South both have stage plays opening this week. PPP Director Jeff White and Voices of the South's Executive Director Jenny Madden join us now to discuss what viewers can expect from these productions. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Our pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Well, Mr. White, I want to start with you. Clue on Stage is opening very soon. Can you tell us what it's about?
Sure. It's based on the 1985 cult classic movie that I know I'm a huge fan of. I know a lot of people are, like me, that grew up with the movie and really, really love it. So it's a fun stage adaptation. So it's got all the classic bits from the movie and some other new fun stuff that audiences will really enjoy.
Well, can you talk about your vision for the visual aspect of the show?
Yeah, sure. So while we have the movie and that all the things from that are great, what I wanted to do with the show was bring the board game to life. Because not only do people love the movie, but they love the game. So everything in the play is like the game coming to life. So the cards, the game pieces, the props, it's like they're larger than life. And so it'll be like the movie and playing the game all at the same time. And hopefully people will really enjoy it.
Well, full disclosure, I am a part of this production of Clue.
Yep.
And so I know it's a very upbeat and fun production.
Yeah.
What drew you to the script?
Well, I just love comedies, and I love directing comedies, and like I've said, I've loved this movie for a very long time. And when it had all my favorite parts, especially the part that you play, with the fire moment, you know, the flames and the fire, people that have seen the movie know what I'm talking about. Just those moments that to recreate them on stage, I found very exciting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and you're doing a great job, and everybody should come see you because you're doing awesome.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Voices of the South also has many exciting projects coming up, one of them being your Holiday Memories show. Can you talk about what drove your decision to choose this show?
Well, I tell you, usually during the holidays we do a Sister Maya Otis or a karaoke, but this year we wanted to go back to our roots, which is Southern literature, and about 20 some odd years ago, I saw a production of Holiday Memories at Playhouse, actually. It was Circuit Playhouse at the time, with Jim Ostrander and Karen Hill, and it has resonated in my memory for so long. It's two Christmas stories or holiday stories written by Truman Capote that have been adapted for the stage, and when we were looking for that special nugget for the holidays that brings back memory, and a nostalgic phrase from one of the stories is, "Oh my, it's fruitcake weather," which is that weather that gets you ready for the holidays. It's time to get the gift giving going on, and so we just chose it, and we have a wonderful cast of characters, and it's done in our narrative form where everybody is on stage at the same time. Very minimal set, but very memory oriented, and it makes you ready for the holidays.
Well, what has the preparation for this show been like?
Well, the fun thing about a Voices of the South show is yes, I am the director of the show, but we have many voices in the room, and we create lots of images that are dictated by the script or by the actual words that Truman Capote wrote. And so we started getting together probably in mid-October, because I was busy doing another show at the same time, and we would spend afternoons just trying to come up with images for the text itself. And then in the past 2 weeks, of course, we have a regular rehearsal schedule where you're there from 6:30 to 9:30, and just trying to find the ways to tell the story the way the author had intended it for it to be read. The thing about narrative is that we want our audience to use their imagination, and it lends themselves to doing that, or it lends itself to doing that.
Well, not a lot of people may have heard of Voices of the South. Can you talk about your founding and mission?
Yeah, well, actually, we've been around for 21 years, and I picked up a magazine a couple years ago that said we are the best kept secret in town. That's not a great thing to be when you're trying to promote a theater company, but we are. We do the Children's Theater Festival. We've taken 2 shows off Broadway. We've originated 2 shows that have had world premieres in Chicago, and we create, produce, and perform theater from diverse Southern perspectives. We incubate voices here, send them out into the world. We started as 2 women wanting to take a show to Scotland, doing Southern narrative, Southern literature, and it has made a company that has done well. So.
Well, what are you both most excited for your upcoming seasons?
May I answer first?
Please.
We also do the Memphis Fringe Festival. That's going to be hosted at Rhodes College this summer. And the reason Voices started is we wanted to take a show to the International Fringe Festival in Scotland 21 years ago. Our hope with our Fringe Festival is that people will put work together. It can be ranging from 15 minutes to 55 minutes. Last year we had 12 companies doing 36 performances over 2 weekends, and that's what we're most excited about in June at Rhodes.
Mr. White?
Well, I'm just most excited about the community seeing the amazing talent we have at Germantown High School. And I feel like we have shows that really help showcase that talent, not only on stage, but off stage. There's so much great work that goes into the productions here. So Clue is going to be a lot of fun. It's a different kind of holiday show to see during the holiday season. And then Sister Act, our musical, is just so high energy and fun. And again, it's really going to showcase the students' talents here, both on and off stage. And we're really excited about the season. And we hope everybody comes out and checks out not only Clue, but also Sister Act.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you.
For a better look into what the Voices of the South has to offer, go to voicesofthesouth.org. And don't miss your chance to see GHS's comical rendition of Clue on stage. Go to ppp.org for more details. I'd like to thank all the theaters for coming on the show today. Remember, Crosstalk can be seen each week at 9:30 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Mondays and Thursdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 a.m., and 12 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Sundays. For more information on our programming, please check us out on the web at GHS-TV.org, where we are streaming live 24 hours a day. You can also check us out on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Rachel Christopherson. From all of us at GHS-TV, thank you for watching Crosstalk, and I hope to see you again.